like a pro. You thought.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to Brandi Beauty TV. Let me go ahead and just say this. If you have not yet subscribed, I feel like I'm just gonna have to just have a moment with you. Like, hit the subscribe button because you know you be coming here watching it anyway. So just go ahead and just subscribe and join the Brandi Beauty fam. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, today I'm going to be doing my client Michelle's hair, and as you can see, it's time for a touch-up. She is one of my only clients who has a head full of red hair. I mean, and it was redder than what it is now. Well, I should say brighter, but we have since then toned it down, and now we kind of going more for like a dimensional red, and it just goes so well on her skin. Like it really just, it does her justice. Like, Michelle really rocks her red hair, and honestly, only color we've only ever gone other than red is like a blush color, but that's only because it faded. So yeah, so I'm gonna be touching up her hair today, and I'm also going to be giving her a nice red money piece. She wanted something a little bit more vibrant around the face, so I said, okay, well, let's kind of just go on and make this a little bit more dimensional and play on what we already have. And so while we touch up her hair, this is going to be a continuation of last week's video where we discussed things that we need to be leaving in 2021, and that's what we'll be talking about today. Okay, y'all, so I'm going to be using 3 different formulas for Michelle's hair. First formula is going to be my lightener with 10 volume developer, and I'm using that for her money piece and the little highlights that I'm going to go in and put once I'm done applying the permanent color, but we'll touch on that later. But for the money piece, being that I'll be breaking her section down into thinner subsections, there is no need to go in with an aggressive lightener. And in this case, anything past 10 volume is considered aggressive because the sections are so thin and her hair is virgin, so it's no need for it. So the 10 volume is going to maintain the integrity of her hair, and it does also provide us a nice clean, even lift for when we go in and deposit the semi-permanent red. Now for the rest of her hair, I'm going to be using a permanent color in a level 11, and it's going to be in the tone kind of pearl. And the reason why I chose pearl is just to cool it off a little bit. I didn't want anything warm, which I could have, but it really didn't matter, honestly. It's like it didn't matter of the tone, but I'm still going to be using an 11, and I'm going to drag that out from her root to her mid shaft, and it's just going to lift her up nicely, and it's going to still leave the warmth that I need. And the reason being is because with reds, when you lift past level 8, when it begins to fade, it'll turn orange. It can even turn pink, and sometimes people don't want that. And red is a very high maintenance color, and so I like to extend the life of my clients' reds. And in Michelle's case, she only wears red hair from since I've been doing her hair, and probably before then as well. So she doesn't come in for her touch-ups very often, and she doesn't need to, because I try to make sure that I leave enough warmth in her hair so the red can hold on to it as long as it can. Okay, and for our third formula, I'm going to be using Pulp Riot, which is my all-time favorite semi-permanent and demi-permanent too, but semi-permanent color line, because the colors are so vibrant and so rich, and it is, first of all, it smells good. Let me just start there. And the application, like, I absolutely love Pulp Riot. Like, it's been very hard for me to use anything else but Pulp Riot because they just come through. They deliver every time. So I'm going to be using the colors Countess Red and also the color Pyro. And mixing those together is going to create like the perfect red for her hair. And since her ends are already a little bit lighter, we're going to kind of get 2 different tones. And so it's also going to make nice for a really nice money piece too, because that's going to be significantly brighter than the rest of her hair. So those are going to be our 3 formulas, and I can't wait for y'all to see how it turns out, because Michelle's hair came out so pretty and vibrant and rich, and I'm sure it's going to last her a long while too. Okay, y'all, so now it's time to go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of this video. So picking up where we left off last week we talked about squeeze-in fees and excessive deposits, and we said that the deposits can stay, but the attitude can stay in 2021, but the deposits can come on into 2022. And then we said the squeeze-in fees, we can just go on and just do away with that completely, because it's totally unnecessary to be squeezing somebody in. Like, either you have an appointment or you don't. So one of the other topics that we discussed was growth oils. And y'all, it's like, I feel, where do I even begin about these growth oils? Okay, let's start here. For one, your hair is going to grow anyway, okay? Most of the time, from what I see, and I have done hundreds of heads, I've seen enough to be able to kind of narrow this down into what the problem truly is. Now, there's always going to be the exception. I'm not talking about the exception, because the exception is always rare. I'm talking about the day-to-day norm. And what I see as the day-to-day norm in our community is that people do not know how to care for the hair that comes out of their hair, which means they're not retaining the length, which means that they are under the impression that their hair is not growing. And I call lies. And what these, it's sad, but what some of these hairstylists have been doing, and what some of these marketers have been doing, is capitalizing off of that, because they are selling you the things that are taking your hair out, and also selling you the things that is going to make it grow. And you are bouncing back and forth between both products. So you're running to the hair extensions, you're running to the braiding hair, you're running to the edge controls and all that stuff. Yes, the edge controls can cause breakage sometimes. Yes, it can, because it can dry your hair out. You're running to these products, and then they coming back with gummies and oils and all that stuff. And so the issue is not that your hair is not growing. It's just that you're not maintaining and caring for the hair that has grown out of your scalp. So with the growth oils, it has really become a fad, and an unnecessary fad too, because things that you put on your hair that you can also digest, let me add, are better just digested. Like, your hair is going to create its own natural oils. So let's start there. So when you add more oils on top of that, you're clogging your follicles and you're clogging up your pores. And if your hair is dry and you're putting these quote unquote growth oils on top of your hair, you're sealing in dryness. But they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that. So am I saying that all growth oils are bad? No, I'm not. I do stand by one growth oil, but that's because I know it is backed by patented research, and I have also used it and I have seen a difference. But let me tell you that even with that growth oil, most of the time you do not need growth oil to make your hair grow. Y'all just need to just leave your hair alone and stop pulling on it and smothering it. And I mean, y'all just be beating up all on your hair. I mean, good God. Like, I don't understand what the issue is in today's society with people taking their hair out. Like, they just be taking it out. Like, it don't bother them. Just ripping it out. And I'm sitting here like, Like, you need more than growth oil. You need an attitude change. Like, growth oil ain't gonna do what you need. Like, you need a makeover internally, because you don't have an issue with pulling out what's naturally yours. That's a whole nother video. But for the growth oils, we're gonna just leave that in 2021, y'all. Just start taking care of your hair. Come to the salon, get your hair shampooed, get it blow dried, get it trimmed, and get it styled if you want to. But my God, just start with the basics and just leave all the extra stuff on the shelf, all the 1,000 products. You don't need all that. Stick with the basics. All right, y'all. So this is the last thing that my client and I just were discussing. And it was hairstylists braiding, sewing, or over manipulating people's hair who already are suffering with hair loss, whether it be traction alopecia, alopecia caused by your immune system, genetic alopecia, whatever the case may be. But basically, pulling on people who don't have hair to be pulled on in the first place. Like, the hair is already compromised. Okay, so here's my take on this. First of all, I need to be up in the state board. I really do, y'all. Like, I feel like I should. And I need to redo these tests, because I don't think they grill hairstylists enough to enter into this industry. Like, the standard for our industry, like, to enter it is so low. It is so low. And so it makes it really, really hard, I think, for the average consumer to respect our craft, our art, our business, because there's no cream of the crop as being the norm. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, if you go to somebody who does a bad job on a surgery, they can be sued for that. Like, they can be sued. There's no such thing as getting a bad job done on a surgery. Because those doctors and those surgeons know that the standard is very, very high. I can't afford to lose my career, my license, my livelihood behind negligence. Okay. So that's where we're that's where we're standing in our industry, in the cosmetology industry. People don't care. People don't care. You can have 3 pieces of hair on your hair. You could be totally rocking a Tommy Pickles, and they gonna grip as hard as they can and pull out the last little piece of strands that you have left to make a quick buck. And for the life of me, I just don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. Like, if you know someone's in your chair and they're asking for a service, I feel like it's our responsibility to just say no. No, I'm not doing that to your hair. No, you need to get up, look in the mirror, and commit to a routine to growing your hair back, especially if your follicles aren't dead. But continuously pulling on your hair, smothering it. And the thing is that I really don't blame these clients, because they don't know. They don't know. But I blame these stylists. Yeah, I blame these stylists. Because y'all know. Y'all know. Because let me tell you what happens. They come into stylists who care. They come in their chair and they sit down. And when somebody finally tells them no, they can't wrap their head around that. And most of the time it's, well, I'm paying for it. Okay, you are, but I'm not going to compromise the integrity of who I am and my brand and my business because you don't care about your hair. No, I'm not putting my name on that. You need to find somebody else who doesn't care. So For the stylists that are doing that, can y'all please just, first of all, just remove hairstylists from your license and just say, I do weaves and I only pull out people hair, or I do such and such and I will pull out your hair, or such and such and such and such. Like, and I'm not talking about the people who need it. There are people who have really chronic hair conditions. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who you clearly see have a healthy head of hair, and you continuously they're coming back to you and you just continuing to damage it. That's who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about people who there's nothing left. Like, they have what they have, and that's just that for whatever reason, so whatever causes. That's fine. I'm not talking about those people. I am strictly talking about the people who you can obviously see have hair, and you don't mind taking out the little bit that they have in the places that they have because it's trending or the celebrities look like it. Away with that. Leave that in 2021. Leave that in 2021. We done with that. Let's care about folks' hair in 2022, and let's help people fall in love with their natural beauty again. Let's show people how to accessorize and enhance what they have. Let's show people how to use hair extensions and things as accessories and not something to live in. And let's actually just care. Like, it's okay to care. Let's care a little bit. Okay, y'all, so Michelle's hair came out so good. I just love her to pieces, y'all. Like, you have those clients that when they come, they just make your soul melt. Michelle's one of those people. So make sure y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe. Okay? Subscribe. And I'll see y'all next week.